people just made up on their own. This all comes from ancient Kemet. Plain and simple. That's where everybody got it from. So when you see the reliefs and you understand what they're talking about and how everything is pictorial, because they couldn't just write this stuff out. One, we wouldn't never be able to understand the language. But when you look at it pictorially, when you understand what it's showing you, you know, it's easy for you to break down when you get that concept of energy, death, the dream world, masculine and feminine, issues that you're going to face, you know, that you're still facing right now, which we'll talk about. So they put this out here, as I said, for us to really understand. It's as if they knew something would happen, but they took the most important. I mean, you got to think about it. They put it in stone for a reason, because it was serious. It's in many. It's not just in one temple. It's in many temples. These writings, a lot of different writings, because they wanted to convey this information, because it's everything. So the way they wrote these reliefs, the way they put them up on a wall, so that when you come in, you have one wall masculine, one wall feminine. So you have the Book of Caverns, you have the Book of What's in the Duat, and you have the Book of Gates. So you have masculine and feminine energy, and the Book of Gate would be basically, might as well say, the Book of the Jet, Book of the Spine, the gates of the spine. So you have basically given you Kundalini energy right there in the reliefs. So again, the people, they broke it down in books, but it really should all be put together as one and studied as one, because you have, when you look at these reliefs, a whole lot of information that is basically giving you Kundalini energy in the spine, giving you the concept of joining masculine and feminine energy and Kundalini rising. And you would never really understood that looking at all of this information that's up there, all these pictures, these depictions, and what's repeat throughout all of it. You see serpents. You will see the serpents, and they represent many different things. So you got to understand again, you know, just going back to the garden, understanding, as I said, the lower brain, the reptilian brain. And then look at, you have Apophis, which would basically be the enemy of Ra. Remember, you have the masculine energy, which would be the male, the brain, the sun, Ra the sun. And you have Apophis, which is this serpent who was his enemy. Same thing in the garden. You had, same thing with God. You have the serpent that is the enemy, you know. So when you understand Satan is you, God is you. So the enemy is you. So Apophis is a part of you. So this whole thing, I'm telling you, you're going to get lost in this stuff. And this is why I'm doing this, because people are being lost and they're not going to figure this stuff out. It's a lot. You know, you can go through it all and try to break all this stuff down. But it's giving you male and female energy and telling you it must be one in order for you to go through the difficult, complex cycle of escaping the wheel of reincarnation. Plain and simple. So it's a journey, and you're going to have to fight yourself. It's going to make a lot more sense later. We're going to talk about this. I know I say it a lot, but it will. It's deep. It's crazy when you really grasp it, what they're trying to give us, and it's amazing. You know, we are so lucky that this exists, and they can't destroy it. Can't destroy it. One of the things, again, they talked about in ancient Kemet that you got to understand is about, you know, mastering the flesh and understanding that, you know, basically what goes around comes around, and that we are all one, that all the universe, everything is in us, plain and simple. So if you hurt someone else, you're only hurting yourself. You know, karma, that all of that. This is where it all comes from. They talked about everything. So again, I talked about before how in Voodoo they don't cast bad voodoo on people. You know, it's just not done, because they know it's going to come back unless they did something. It's part of universal law. So it's like, you know, when somebody does something, you can go in and step in and fulfill universal law by punishing them for what they did. Plain and simple. So think of that concept when it comes to contracts. Plain and simple. So it's like if a contract is put out there It has to be fulfilled. This is why they get us to enter in all these contracts and everything that we're going through, with the birth certificate, social security number, and everything like that. There is a universal truth, a universal good, a balance to everything. Contracts must be, they must be basically honored. A bad deed must be met with a good deed, so on and so forth. It's a balance. So when we say what goes around comes around, it's not just the same. It's fact. It's truth. It's going to happen. The more good you put out, the more good you receive. Plain and simple. It's not where, you put out good and you have to get bad because you put out good. It don't work that way. You simply get back what you put out. Plain and simple. So if you put out good energy, you get back good energy. You put out bad energy, you get back bad energy. You get back what you put out. Plain and simple. So getting into it, back into it again, just understanding, these reliefs and writings are giving you the body. Just like I explained with the Great Pyramid, just like we explained with the temple in Man, that we talked about with R.A. Swallow the Lubics. Big giant temple dedicated to the body, big pyramids dedicated to the brain. It's giving you all of this stuff. Dealing with the body, dealing with energy, right there in front of you. They built it. So right there you have it on the walls and the reliefs. So the Book of Gates would be dealing with opening the energy gates of the spine. Stuff that they talk about in Taoism. It's stuff that we see all the time with yoga, with the chakras. In order for you to have control over your ascension into the next stage of existence, you must first master the physical, yourself, plain and simple. And that's basically what it all comes down to. You. If the universe and everything is in you, and everything is in you, you are creating and controlling, and are going to be controlling yourself, your energy, your everything going forward. There's nothing outside of you. Plain and simple. And this is what they're trying to tell us. It's all you. And when you really understand that, it's going to make a lot of sense. It's all you. You are where you are because of you. Plain and simple. It's rare when somebody has made a choice for you that puts you where you are. But I guarantee you, if you go back and look, it's a choice that you made or something that you done that aided, in that whole thing. So it's still you, no matter how you want to slice it. It's what we do, how we live the life, and how we move forward with the decisions that we make. Big deal, plays a big part in everything. So basically, when you look at these books, they basically show you trials, tribulations, beasts and monsters and all kinds of torturous things that could possibly happen. And it's giving you the understanding that it's, no matter what it is, it's still you. It's still coming from you. The universe is in you. You are the cosmos. Everything is in you. It's all you. So you have to grasp the understanding that, again, choices that we make put you where you are, and that we are all basically experiencing and suffering from the same problems, except for those who are in power. Plain and simple. Everybody else, all the citizens around the world, we have the same problems. It's either you poor or you sick. It's just that simple. And in everybody's case, the government can fix our problems. So why isn't it being done? Because we choose to let them rule us. It's just that simple. We choose not to do anything. We are all dealing with the same problems under different circumstances. And the only way out of it is a collective choice. But we are separated. Male and female, men and women, color, everything is separation. There's no unity. So the fixing of the global pain will be uniting into one, which would solve the world's problems, plain and simple, and defeating the adversary. It's the same concept within ourselves, defeating the adversary, which is within us. But if you look at it as we are all one on this planet, it's the same thing. We understand what I'm trying to say, the concept here. So the very concept or conflict that's in us It's inward as well as outward, plain and simple. But in each case, we have a choice to walk a path, whether it be a lonely one or with whoever. No matter what, in the end, before we can do anything, we got to change ourselves first. So to even grasp the concept of what I'm saying, you have to change yourself first in order to be a part of a global unity. You got to be on board. But we are all suffering from the same problem, plain and simple. And we just have not made the choice to say, fuck it, I'm tired of this shit. Let's do something about it collectively. That's basically what it is. So the same kind of conflict happens within us, plain and simple. And it's deeper than what most people imagine. And it goes into that whole, Satan thing, of the devil controlling you. So again, the devil would be what? Material, plain and simple. And then you begin to understand that everybody is basically suffering from lack of material, plain and simple. You're wishing for materialistic stuff. Everybody is living their life for material. Everything we do is for material, nothing spiritual. All of our fears, everything we worry about, is fears of the flesh, plain and simple. Fears of the flesh. So either, you're worried about physical pain or physical pleasure. Just that simple. That is us in a nutshell as human beings. Physical pain, physical pleasure. These are our worries. This is what we worry about, plain and simple. All physical, nothing spiritual. So, the Buddhists talk about that whole concept. Why worry about something that you can't, take with you? We always say you can't take the money with you. It's the same thing with the flesh. So if you understood that you are infinite everything, or would you be focused on something that is of no consequence to you? That something you can't even take with you. It's physical. It's not going to last forever. It's going to be gone. The main thing, the main focus, and it's one of the things that the Christians try to harp on and get you to really think, and that concept is in there, that this is temporary. And you're going to be dead soon. So why would you risk everything and focus on this physical flesh that's going to be gone, that is going to be of no consequence anyway, when the bigger picture is your soul and, eternity, when you think about it. So that whole concept is in there in Christianity to get you to really understand that. And even, Christians just, they don't care. But even as conscious people, we got to understand that same type of concept when you really grasp reincarnation and coming back. Because it's like, okay, so if your goal is to escape, you need to be focused more on the spiritual and not, worried about the physical at all, and understanding, the in-between, how to fix that problem. So again, we look at the reliefs. We see the serpent symbology everywhere. Talked about, we have Apophis, the serpent, basically, whenever you see Ra on his solar boat trying to ascend and rise, you have Apophis try to bring him down, giving you the reference to the lower brain and your higher self, your sun, trying to rise and be enlightened. You have Apophis, your lower brain, your conscious, bringing you down. And that's what Apophis is representing, is your consciousness bringing you down, plain and simple. Your consciousness is going to be the problem because your consciousness is being attacked. It's controlling you. So they understood this concept. It's like they could see the future and know that there would be a time or something would happen to where the consciousness of men will be controlled or hindered in some sort of way. And that, us being, where we were at mentally, we fell in consciousness, that we will be susceptible to this. And it's so serious that if we don't gain control of it, that it would destroy us. It would basically, keep us in the wheel of reincarnation. So, you're going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to see a lot of reliefs. You're going to see a whole bunch of hieroglyphs. And all of it, and I promise you this, all of it is summed up. I mean, they were so smart when they did this. All of it was summed up into one phrase: man, know thyself. Plain and simple. There it is. It's like an equation. You can take everything they ever wrote, write it down, put it all together. It's going to equal man, know thyself. So you had Thales, Pythagoras, Aristotle, you had Plato, you had all of them go into Kemet, and they came out saying what? Man, know thyself. Know thyself. Important. Super important. So you look at everybody in the mystery schools and everything they're talking about, the culmination of it is know thyself. Plain and simple. So, to put it together, so, a lot of you are walking around believing you are you. Who else could you be? That's the spooky part. You think you're you, but you're not. And you give yourself hints to that in a lot of cases. And it's beginning to make sense when you really understand, everything this is going to entail. You'll really know thyself. So a lot of us have had instances where, we did something, we didn't know why we did it. We got upset at ourselves, we talked to ourselves, say, why the hell I do that? We made mistakes. And this is one of the things I stressed before. Do not confuse emotions and feelings. It's all energy. Plain and simple.